I think there was already enough evidence of what he does when there isn't a gag order and how he confuses his rights as a criminal defendant with his rights as a political candidate. And it's not unusual for criminal defendants to have limitations on their speech put in place, especially when there's a nexus between their speech and threats to the people they're speaking about. And that's what's happening in New York. The evidence of the number of threats that came in to Judge Engoron's clerk as a result of Trump speaking ill of her is enough reason to stop him, because even the First Amendment for a political candidate does not allow that candidate to do something like yell fire in a theater or to use words that will lead his followers to take action. And we've seen plenty of conduct that is action based on his speech. So I think the gag order should be put back in place and enforced.
Well, to that point, David, Trump posted his first Thanksgiving message online at 2 a.m. Apparently, Turkey has the opposite effect on him that it has on the rest of us. Mostly a rant about the New York judge, about the attorney general. What does that signal to you about his reelection campaign, that this is where he is spending his time, his effort, his energy?
Yeah, fascinating, Alicia. Look, in past years, his holiday messages have attacked communists and socialists and Democrats and the deep state. This was an unhinged screed against prosecutors and judges. And it does give you a little bit in terms of Donald Trump's state of mind. And we continue to step closer and closer to Donald Trump possibly losing his own liberty, either because of some pretrial behaviors and attacks on prosecutors and judges, or a conviction. And we have not seen what Donald Trump ultimately does in that environment. So what's the political analysis? I think we've seen it does not change the calculus for his election. I don't think he has a lead like some of the polls show over Biden once you get into a binary race between the two, because when people see his behavior, they are reminded that he is an erratic, unstable, unhinged man who should not return to the White House. That's enough to protect Joe Biden's lead going into a matchup.